Hey everyone, welcome to Cricut Time! If you like this video, subscribe for more project ideas and tutorials on all things Cricut. Spring is here, so for today's tutorial, I will show you how to make these cute little garden stakes. For this project, I'll be using a package of garden stakes and some stencil vinyl. Let's start out this project in Design Space. These are super easy to set up. I'll start out by clicking on Shapes, then bring in a square. I'll just click on this little lock here so I can change the size. I want these stencils to be 1.5 inches high and a max of 4 inches long. I'll just change the color here to something easier to see through. Let's go with yellow. Now I can bring in the writing. Click on Text, and the first label I need is for carrots. I want these to have a fun font, so I'll go with BFC Autumn Harvest. I'll move that over. It actually fits pretty good at this size already. Now I'll select both of these layers and click on Duplicate. I'll change this one to spinach. You can just repeat that process, copying and pasting as many times as you need. I'll do 4 stakes today. I have the rectangles around the words so that they can be turned into stencils. I do want a little bit of extra space, but I don't really need this much. So I'll just make this rectangle a bit shorter. I think I'll take off a little bit for the beans label as well. Now I just have to highlight each label, and down at the bottom, click on Attach. This will make sure my machine cuts out the label and the rectangle together. These are ready, so I can press Make It. I will be cutting on a mat. I happen to have a leftover piece of stencil vinyl that I want to use today. It's not this long though, so I'll just rearrange my labels so they fit with the piece I want to use. Great, now I can press Continue. For my material today, I'll click on Browse Materials, and I want stencil vinyl. Whenever I use stencil vinyl, I change the pressure my machine will use to more instead of default. Now this is ready to cut out. I'll stick my stencil vinyl down to a green mat, and use a brayer to make sure it's stuck down smoothly. Stencil vinyl often gets these air bubbles where the vinyl lifts off the backing from being on the roll, so the brayer also sticks it back down properly. Now I'll pop it into my maker. You can use a Cricut or Silhouette for this step. Now I'll use my weeder tool to pull off the letters. I'll just cut these out with my scissors. These are ready to transfer to the garden stakes. I'll take a piece of transfer tape and put it on this label. Now I'll use my scraper tool to stick them together. Flip this over and pull off the backing paper. Now I can line this up on the wood. Before I started, I sanded these wood stakes down to get off any loose fibers. I'll use my scraper again to stick the stencil vinyl down. I'll pull off the transfer tape, and this one is ready. Now I'll just repeat that same process for the other labels. These are ready. You can use a dark paint for this step, or you can try wood burning. I will be burning this design into the wood today using my homemade wood burning solution. You can buy these ready to go, like a scorch marker or wood burning gel, or you can make your own. If you want to go the route where you make your own, it's super easy. You just need to mix together 1/4 cup of warm water, 4 teaspoons of a food thickener like Cricut or Thicken Up, and 1/2 tablespoon of ammonium chloride. Let the solution sit for about 10 minutes to thicken up into more of a gel, and then it's ready to use. Using a small paintbrush, I'll paint the wood burning gel onto the labels. When you're doing this, you just need a really thin little layer. If you do go the wood burning route, just be sure to sound your wood before you begin. Everything is covered. Now I'll give it some time and let it dry. These are dry, so now I can remove the stencil. You can see in the light where the solution is. You will need a heat gun to burn the wood. It doesn't have to be fancy or too high heat to work. This one only has 2 settings, and it works perfectly for this. Make sure you do this step outside. The heat gun will burn the ammonium chloride into the wood, and not only will it smell, but it will also set off your smoke detectors if you do it inside your house. Keep your heat gun moving and avoid staying in one spot too long. I want mine to be dark, but if you think an area is getting too dark too fast, you can back up the heat gun away from the wood so you have more control over how much heat it's getting. These are done, and I really like how they turned out. The only other thing I need to do for the wood burning method is wash these with soap and water to remove the ammonium chloride solution. Then these are ready for the garden. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more project ideas and tutorials on all things Cricut.